My favorite stories to tell are scary stories, and my favorite place to tell stories are from Mexico, and this is one of the most famous scary stories from Mexico. A long time ago, there was said to be a woman who would walk along the rivers of Mexico, and she was sad. She was so sad that she started to cry. She cried so hard that she tripped on a rock, fell into the river, and was gone. And people say that you can still hear her to this day, walking along the rivers. You can hear her crying. What is the name of this woman by the river? Does anybody know? Her name is, do you know? Can you tell me in a loud voice? Ah, that's a good guess. Actually, her name is La Llorona. Raise your hand if you've ever heard of La Llorona. You're hearing about her now. La Llorona in English means the crying lady. And there are too many stories for me to tell you why she cries. But she cries all the time. And people in Mexico use the story to make their children behave. They'll say, you better go to sleep. We don't want to go to sleep. If you don't go to sleep, La Llorona will come and take you away. And the kids say, the crying lady will come and get us? Yes, she will. Okay, we're going to sleep. They run upstairs, they get in, like, okay, my birthday. When the kids get a little bit older, like your age, 3rd, 4th, 5th grade, the parents will say, go do your homework. We don't want to do our homework. If you don't do your homework, La Llorona, the crying lady, will come and take you away. And when the kids are in 3rd or 4th grade, they run upstairs, they start doing their homework. But after a while, they go, hey, do you think La Llorona will take us away if we don't do our homework? The other brother will look around. No. Do you believe it? No. Why are we doing our homework then? I don't know. They'll stop doing their homework. The parents don't yell at the kids. Instead, they send for the abuela, the grandmother. She'll sneak up the stairs, walk down the hall, push open their door so it looks like a ghost is opening the door, and she'll make the sound that La Llorona makes right before she grabs the kids. She starts to cry. And the kids will say, Mommy, tell La Llorona we're doing our homework, we're doing. And it works for the rest of the school year. Now, when the kids get to be even older, 6th, 7th, 8th grade, they love to go down by the river and go swimming in the river. And the parents say, don't go swimming in the river. We're going to go swimming. If you go swimming, La Llorona will come and grab you. And that works. Now, a few years ago, I met a boy named Miguel Hernandez. Miguel went to a high school in Chicago. He had just come up from Mexico. He said, Antonio, have you ever heard of La Llorona? And I said, yes, but he told me other stories about her. And he said, Antonio, yo sí sé como tú puedes verla. I know how you can see La Llorona. I never heard that. I said, how? He said, it's easy. All you need to do is put a glass of water in your window. She'll come up from the river and she'll drink the water. I said, really? He said, yeah. He said, Antonio, last Friday night, I wanted to see her. I put a glass of water in my window, and at midnight, ¿sabes qué pasó? Do you know what happened? I said, what? He said, nothing. That's not scary. He said, I put a second glass of water in my window, and at 12:30 at night, do you know what happened? I said, what? He said, nothing. He put 3, 4, 5 glasses of water, and he said, at 1 o'clock in the morning, ¿sabes qué pasó? Do you know what happened? I said, what? He said, nothing. And I started to laugh. He said, but then he remembered the American legend of Bloody Mary. Who's ever heard of this legend? He went into the bathroom, shut the door, shut off the light, looked into the mirror, and instead of saying Bloody Mary, he called her name 5 times in Spanish. La Llorona, La Llorona, La Llorona, La Llorona, La Llorona. Nada pasó en el baño. Nothing happened in the bathroom. But when he went back to his bedroom, one of the glasses was missing from his ledge. He slid underneath his window, put his back to the wall. There were the 4 glasses right above him on the ledge. And he says he thought he heard somebody drinking the water and the glass hitting the ground. Then he heard a sickening sound, like bones scraping against brick, worse than fingernails down old green slate chalkboard. And he felt another glass getting pulled off that ledge, and he thought he heard someone drinking and the glass hitting the ground. And another glass got pulled off that ledge, and he slid out and he stared at the 2 remaining glasses just as he saw a thin, gnarled, ghostly hand pulling the second to the last glass down. There was 1 glass left, and Miguel thought, I want to prove that she exists. He stood up, got as close as he dared to that last glass, and when her hand reached around that glass, it lingered there. It didn't move. He thought, now's my chance. He took a deep breath. He reached up, and she reached around and grabbed his hand. grabbed him by the shoulders, pulled him out of the window, looked into his eyes, and she said, "Tengo que ir al baño," which means, "I have to go to the bathroom." And with that, she disappeared, and I started to laugh, and I said, "Miguel, did that really happen?" And he said, "No." He said he made the whole thing up. But he said that I had to make sure that the kids in the United States knew that if by accident you were to put a glass of water in your window tonight, in the morning, some of that water may be gone. But it's not La Llorona drinking it. It's a scientific principle of evaporation. He said it's just evaporation. He said, so make sure the kids know that La Llorona is a very famous story told in Mexico, but she does not really exist. But if you don't do your homework, she will come and take you away. So do your homework. And that's one of the most famous stories from Mexico, the story of La Llorona. So you can find more about La Llorona from the internet, from your library, and from your friends from Mexico. I guarantee you, if you have friends from Mexico, they know about La Llorona. So I want to thank you for listening to my stories. I have 2 other stories that I mailed out to a bunch of publishers last year. And you know what the first 35 publishers said? No. You know what the 36 publishers said? Maybe. Asked if I would rewrite that story. I rewrote it 7 times. And you know what they said? Yes. I have another book coming out at the end of this fall, by Christmas time. And then next year, there's another book that I sent out 58 times. I heard no, 57. I only had to do 6 rewrites, and that's coming out at the end of next year. So I have more books coming out. The Barking Mouse is available for teachers. You can also see it online for free on my website.